All right. Welcome back to another BNT Sports Talk Show. Another Sunday evening, October 16th, 2022. Just in case you were wondering if we were live or not. Well, welcome everybody. Glad to have you guys for another Sunday evening. Gonna hop into some NFL today for sure, but we're also gonna talk about some NBA with the season starting next week. So if you this is your first time coming around to our neighborhood, please go ahead and subscribe, like, push that notifications button, or do one, two, or all three of those. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So, for those who
Hi.
don't know, I am T, and this is B. No, that way. This is B. That way. And yeah, so we're gonna hop straight in. Well, first off, how you doing, B man?
I'm
How's it
good.
going?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Had a fantastic week of picks on this show. Had one really, one pick really ruined my day in a heartbeat. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I can't. Other than that, I can't complain. How about you?
Oh yeah, man, I'm doing great. Just I was just hanging out watching football, and then my son, came running down the stairs with an impromptu meeting with his friends at Rock and Jump. So he wanted to go and do that, and I'm thinking, now I'm watching football, but I figure, I guess I should hang out with my kids. You know what I'm saying?
They may be a little important today. Maybe, maybe not. Who
Yeah.
knows? But
That's about it,
well,
man.
let's get into it. We don't have any picks waiting for the rest of the night to finish up. So, let's just go with the big dog champion. That would be
That's
me.
you. What?
Went 3-0 today, as
Oh, you
far as
talking about
today
today?
goes.
Oh, okay,
As far as
okay.
today
Just making
goes,
sure.
we'll we'll kind of the Falcons plus 4.5. That was a real. I was not shocked, but kind of shocked how the game kind of played out there. The
Yeah,
Niners were really hurting on defense there. Like they
yeah,
were missing four key defenders there. Nick Bosa obviously being the big one there, but their offense didn't look really too good either. And Niner fans have got to admit it, but Jimmy G actually had a really good game today, and they were just dude, they were dropping balls like they didn't have enough stickum on their hands. Um, there was one. I think Jimmy threw one deep ball, had the receiver on a post right down the middle. He led him in stride, and the receiver said, kind of like the kind of like the guy on our border right here.
yeah. They got hit.
Kind of hit
Yeah,
him like
that's
that.
yeah. Man, they
You
still
know,
sticking their hands in the butter, man. They
had
got
his
butterfingers.
had tight ends dropping balls too. So I mean, overall, it really wasn't a really good game for the Niners offensively, to say the least. But that takes nothing away from the Falcons. Like I said, the Falcons have been playing teams tough. They just couldn't finish teams. But the Niners showed that they were tired being on the road for 2 straight weeks. Early game for them this time around. They were definitely getting ready to come back to the Bay. So but for the Falcons to put it on them the way they did, kudos to them this week.
Yeah, man, and kudos to B for the insightful knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Going deep with the data, just in case y'all was wondering. these picks, these picks aren't
Yup.
just coming out of our behinds. Well, actually, they coming out of mine, just not B's. Just so you know, My-
Um,
I don't use analytics.
You just pick,
I
which is
just
not a
pick.
bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. And then the Vikings decided to cover. That was a known thing. The Dolphins' offense is just it's bad.
Yeah,
Without even their backup quarterback, it's not even good. So,
their whole season's
kudos.
shot, man. Their whole
Did
season's shot.
you did you see the photo of the different temperatures it was on each sideline? So on the Dolphins sideline, it was like 80 degrees, and on the
Nah.
Viking sideline, it was like 120 degrees. you
They
talk
were
about
doing that
some
on purpose, man.
you talk about some home field advantage, man. Like
Yeah.
that's one way of doing some home field advantage
Yeah,
there.
that's like them Boston Celtic locker rooms, man.
Yeah,
Turning the heater on.
dirty, nasty locker
That's right.
rooms. And then the Seahawks with a big win, 19-9 over the Cardinals. They were plus 2.5, so I covered that one as well. So I'll take a 3-0 weekend all
Damn.
week. But there's what. Well, let's get to your picks here,
Yeah.
because you had a pretty good week yourself.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
went 2-1.
I went 2-1. I actually thought I was reaching on my two we'll call them upsets, but they weren't really. The Giants and the Ravens. I took the Giants on the money line. The Giants came through, played well. Their quarterback is playing a little bit above his shoulders right now. So this wasn't a big Saquon Barkley game. It was really quarterback making some plays. And then I had the Jets over the Green Bay Packers simply because, as I stated on Friday, I do not believe in the Green Bay Packers, and the Jets were surging. And I feel like the Packers are one of those teams when they get hit in the mouth, they're just going to lay down, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh my God,
So I
did
took
they?
the Jets in the points. And then my one loss was, well, it was those Kansas City Chiefs. I should have known after they went over last week against the Raiders that there was no way they were going to be able to put up the same offensive output, and they didn't. So that was my one loss. I took the over at 54, and the game was well beneath that. The point total for both teams was, I believe, in the 40s. So yeah. So I went 2-1. What about our guest though? B, what's going on with that?
So we threw our guests a bone because they had the same pick you did, but they did take the Jets +7. So there's one there.
All right,
But then
JJ.
JJ, I don't know if you're watching yet, but congratulations on getting the guest off the schneid there. But then you went back to losing normally here with taking the Patriots and Browns under 43 and a half.
I
The
wouldn't touch that game
Patriots damn near almost scored all those points.
by themselves.
And then the Seahawks and Cardinals, you took the over 50 and a half there, and that game didn't even reach 20 points from one team there. So overall record for the guests, they are blitzing in at a 1-8 overall record right now. So
Wow. Well,
um,
yeah. B, you're 6-3. I'm 7-2, and I think it's time that we get a radio spot. And just start handing out picks for $5 a piece or $20 for a card or something like that. I mean, come on.
dude, I can tell you this: the minute we start doing that, then we start
You
losing.
got that right. The moment my
It's
money's
probably.
involved, I'm gonna lose. I already know.
But let's talk about a couple of those games there. Particularly, I want to talk about the Ravens here because we're talking about a team that should be 6-0 right now, with the way they've been playing. But as a Ravens fan, I am really starting to really question Lamar Jackson's effort right now. And I know that's crazy to say, but today was a clear example. He had a minute and 40 seconds to win this game for them. And the way he holds that ball when the pocket collapses, Thibodeau had a clear shot to the ball and just a light swipe of it took the ball right out of his hands, turned it into a fumble here. So it's he's these are patterns you start seeing. These costly interceptions in bad moments as well is hurting the Ravens every single time. Now their defense is playing exceptionally well now, ever since the two blown leads that they had. But other than that, as a Ravens fan, you got to get a little worried now because they're back to 500 at 3-3, a team that should be 6-0 realistically. There was a stat today where the Ravens have only trailed 11 minutes this entire season. 11 minutes. That's not even a full quarter of football that they've trailed. So you can see how quickly they lose these games and can't recover. So Lamar Jackson wants to get paid. Does he deserve the money? It's now up in debate now because he's got 3 blown leads under his belt
Yeah. I
in a
mean,
contract year.
you're a 500 ball club, and I just feel like the Ravens have a lot of bad news bears moments where they have very just bad timing on some of the turnovers that they have. I mean, if you look at the game today and you look at the stats, you're going to say, how the hell does this team lose?
Yeah.
406 total offensive yards versus 238 for the Giants. You outpassed them, you way outrushed them with the help of
Yeah.
with the help of your quarterback, and you were averaging 7 yards a play. And so it really does come down to the turnovers, and it comes down to you turning the ball over and just not. I don't know. I guess the other thing I can point to, maybe that hurt you guys this game, was also the penalties. 10 penalties for 74 yards. I just feel like I don't know what's going on with your team, man. They got like some bad mojo on them or something, man.
Dude, it's like a curse. Like they finally got everyone back. J.K. Dobbins isn't even being used in this running game yet. Um,
Yeah.
and they're struggling to win games here when they shouldn't be. Like again, they should this division should not be the way it is right now. They
Yep.
should it should be a 6-0 Ravens team and everyone else at a measly 500. It's just it's starting to become a little questionable. They squeaked by Cincinnati um as well at home when they were, again, you're going to have your one-off games. You're going to have that. The Niners were a clear example of that today.
Yeah.
But not you can't be having these one-offs with games on the line. Like it just can't be happening.
Well,
So,
I think
hopefully they get this together.
I think the Ravens still have a good chance to win their division because their division is so bad. But the one thing that could derail them is if Cincinnati starts getting hot, and
Yeah.
Cincinnati puts together 2, 3, 4 wins, or go 4-1 over the next five, the Ravens might be looking at the bottom of the wheelbarrow, and because you're in the AFC, those two wild card positions are going to be they're not going to be as easy to get, mostly because of the AFC West. So if you're the Ravens, you got to really tighten up the ship and go ahead and win this division outright because you might have to compete with the Chargers or possibly my Raiders who can't seem to get anything done.
Dude, you guys have one win. We're
Yeah.
not. Yeah, come on, man.
But
You guys.
in any case, the Ravens do not want to be competing for a wild card, a wild card position when you should own this division with Cincinnati playing as bad as they are to start.
Well, yeah, and then there's the Steelers who go through quarterbacks every other game.
Oh yeah, man.
They're switching them out, and then the Browns. They're the Browns.
Yeah,
All right, we're
oh,
just gonna leave it at that there.
they're a
But
color,
there is,
yeah, not a team.
yeah, they're a color of poop. That's what they are. Um, but let's be realistic here. There is one team that I think a lot of people are sleeping on and made a statement today, and you took them today, and that is the New York Jets. They went into Lambeau. Again, it's you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers being an elite quarterback with not much to work with, but
No,
they went in there and they smacked around Green Bay
they
Packers
did.
today handedly, um, which only leaves them a game behind a game behind the Bills, who uh, got lucky today, literally in every aspect.
Yeah,
So I want to kind of dive into the Jets a little more because now I see it as a two-team race. Really, the Patriots are too inconsistent. They went out and beat the Browns, and then they they beat the Lions, but we won't talk about that. But I just don't see any consistency from that team. So the Jets have really shown that they were able to ride the ship without Zach Wilson being their quarterback, and then he's come in and he's won his last two games
yeah,
or as a quarterback.
yeah. I mean, the kid obviously was drafted high. He's got talent, so you're seeing a lot of that. There were some big throws he had today. And I mean, I guess the Jets have are finally utilizing and taking advantage of being bad for 5-10 years. So all those top draft picks, they've always had top talent coming out of the draft. It's just being able to develop it and put it together, and it's kind of it's kind of curious. I think the fact that the Patriots no longer have Tom Brady, and now that puts the Patriots at the bottom of the the division. The fact that Tua is injured with the Dolphins, it does leave room for a team like the Jets to ascend. And I'm not saying they're going to go to no Super Bowl or nothing, but they could be a nice one out wild card team that can come and give that top seed or one of the top seeds a run for their money and get dispatched in
Yep.
the first round. But that's how teams are built. That's how the Bills had to go through that. The Chiefs had to go through that. All these teams have to go through that where you just kind of have to get better and up the level of your game. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that the Jets will have that opportunity, man. And I think Green Bay is a good whooping boy. I got to be quite honest with you. So it really just depends on how they play against some of the better competition. I just don't, the Packers don't seem to have any real want to in their game.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
look like a team that knows that they're not good enough to win a Super Bowl. They're like LeBron James on. They're like when LeBron James is on a team he knows can't win in the finals. It just LeBron will be like, yeah, I'll try, but if it ain't looking good, I'm out of here. My
Well, that's
yeah.
that's that's I guess that's a prequel to our conversation in a little bit here.
Okay.
But
Oh
you
man.
know, the Jets could become a hot place to come and play to, and that's because if they can maintain this ship, if they could get a few wins under the belt, if they could beat the Bills, I think that'd be a big win for them on top of what they're doing. That might spark some interest in some players going, there's something developing with the Jets. It could be a landing spot for a player here.
Yeah.
And speaking of landing spots, I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but Christian McCaffrey, the Carolina Panthers star
Running
running
back. Yeah.
back, Mr. Do It All, he's requested he wants out.
Yeah.
He wants out of Carolina,
Don't
and
can't blame him.
the Niners are in the talks. Now, Carolina just came out and said that they are looking for first round draft picks, of course, when you give up a guy of that talent. But let me ask you this, Taj. I know we talk about the Niners a lot. You kind of understand their offense. Would Christian McCaffrey be a good fit in a Niner uniform?
Well, he certainly can't hurt them. I mean, I think for sure he's going to help. He's a guy that could fit inside of the offense that Shanahan runs because their running backs aren't just asked to just run the ball. I mean, they catch the ball and they're catching the ball. They're running screens. The 49ers do a lot of 5 yard and less offense. That helps their offense go, and a lot of it is pivoted
Yeah.
on guys who can make plays in the open field. And I think Christian McCaffrey is definitely an upgrade. Now I don't know where that leaves Debo Samuel. I will be honest with you, but well, Samuel's a wide receiver. Although I don't know, with the way their offense is run, I don't know if wide receivers are that important. I feel like
Can
I feel
you?
like they have a team full of running. They have a team full of running backs, and
But
they ask them to do 50 things.
let me tell you this. I think McCaffrey in a Niner uniform be the scariest thing in the NFL because of what you said.
Yeah,
The playmaking ability that they have on that team and the offense that allows for their playmakers to do their job. Why wouldn't you want to go there?
yeah,
He can catch balls out of a flat. He can run the
yeah. He
ball.
can. Yeah.
He's not afraid of
Nope. He
contact.
can run between the tackles. Yeah.
This is a guy that honestly you should really consider here because I think he's got 1 or 2 years left on his contract, so you don't have to worry about paying him out. But honestly, it's a rental to get to a Super Bowl championship.
Right.
That's what you're doing. If this is an upgrade
Well.
for any team, but this
Yep.
is a serious upgrade for the 49ers if they are that serious about winning this championship here. So, in all honesty, this is the way to go. I think they should give up these picks. You've got a whole bunch of young guys in on the team as it is. So why not add another factor to that? And an experienced veteran who can just almost do it all. And he can return punts.
Yeah.
I mean, why not have that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're talking about a guy that can do so much for you on offense, and they better hurry up and do it before his dad convinces him to play for the goddamn Broncos. So
That's right. Denver's interested in him.
you know, you know how that goes. I mean, so yeah, I think he would be a great addition to anybody's team. But yeah, the
Yeah.
49ers could definitely use a top level, skilled, dependable, running back that they could go to game in and game out every single week. So we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, yeah, I think that definitely would help them out. You just got to look at whatever other teams are involved, and what other teams are motivated to get him as well. So we'll see how it plays out. But I don't blame him for wanting out of Carolina. It's been a dumpster fire ever since they fired. They
Baker
fired
Mayfield joined
yeah.
the team.
Well, when they fired the coach and the Cam Newton saga, and after the Cam Newton thing, after Cam Newton, it was just downhill from there. So
Hey, that coach is getting paid though. He gets $40 million not to do a damn thing
that's
anymore.
true.
So
Hey,
you,
he said my contract's guaranteed though.
you know,
Not the players, but the coaches. Oh yeah, they guaranteed.
yep, you can pay me my money to sit on my ass for the next 4 more years that you don't want me around.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
that's just wasted money right there. I can't believe some of that stuff. But let's change sports. Let's get into our topic. Let's get into
The
that
NBA
NBA conversation. And we're
opening
gonna
season,
start.
opener next season. My team, your team. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
let's get into your team first because let's just get this dumpster fire out of the way if we're going to talk
Oh
about
my
dumpster
God, here we
fires.
go.
So the preseason's over here. Now there's a lot of talk around the Lakers, especially with Russell Westbrook. Now he came off the bench on Friday night
To do nothing.
um, to do nothing,
Injured,
but
injured his hamstring. Hamstring.
that really didn't sit well with him. And there's been I don't know, you've seen the video of him not being involved in the pregame
Yeah.
huddle. And even on the in-game huddle, when Patrick Beverly, their fearless leader, was trying to bring the team together to talk defensive strategy, and Russell Westbrook just chilling on the free throw line. So, T, give us some insight on this little drama here that we're having with your man Russell
Yeah,
Westbrook.
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of it is going to start all the way back from last season whenever they got him, right? It was bringing him into the fold as this sort of three-headed monster with LeBron and AD. They got on the floor, and it did not work. It did not work at all. He can't shoot. LeBron likes to have the ball in his hand. Russell Westbrook likes to have the ball in his hand. And just the fit of everything didn't work. Now, Russell Westbrook took a lot of flack. I think it is more of a fit, more it is him being a bad player. I don't think Russell Westbrook is just a piss poor terrible player. He just does not fit the team that we have with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Um, the fans gave him a lot of crap. The league's been giving him a lot of crap, and most of that is because the guy's making $47 million, and so
Yeah.
he's carrying that $47 million chain around his neck, um, shooting less than 30% from the 3 point line, shooting abysmal from the field, and is having trouble making layups. And in LA, when it's championship or bust, if you look bad, we're gonna kill you, and that's just how it's gonna be. So I know Russell feels bad because he's from LA, but he's been taking a lot of flack. Now you bring that forward to the offseason. I've said it. Any other Laker fans probably said the same thing. You got to trade the guy. And that was the whole focal point coming in with the whole Kyrie to LA saga and all the drama that ensued after Kevin Durant, went postal and decided he wanted out of the Nets. Um, they none of it came to fruition. So here the Lakers are standing there with the holding the bag basically, and they had nowhere to go with it. There was nothing else they could do. They tried to trade Russell, and everything they thought would happen fell apart. And so
Yep.
they had no choice but to go into the season with the guy. So I'm just giving you all that background so that you understand why we are where we are. Yes, Russell Westbrook is not happy with the situation because all in all, this whole experiment has been trash. He's being told to come off the bench because he doesn't fit with the starters. And yeah, he doesn't like that because he's never come off the bench his entire career. And this whole thing is just playing out as this big giant dumpster fire that only equals him getting traded. So they still need to trade him. There have been reports that after that game against Sacramento, where we lost by 30 points,
It was 40,
it's
sir.
whatever.
It
It
was
was
40.
terrible. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. We have so many guards on our team. It makes no sense at all. We have no threes, no fours, just a bunch of guards. From Dennis Schroeder to Russell Westbrook to Lonnie Walker, who we picked up, to Austin Reeves, to I'm missing somebody, but we have way too many guards, and we don't have enough threes and fours. And it's we never made the correction in the offseason, and we never got any shooters. So throwing Russell Westbrook back in with a bunch of guys who can't shoot is not going to work. It's not going to be a situation that's great. So that's why Russell Westbrook is not going into these huddles, because it's been a dumpster fire experiment from jump. It never worked. And now basically they're telling him, hey, you got to come off the bench. So it's still feeling like to him that it's his fault, and they're blaming him for all the problems.
Well, and but that comes with the territory of where you're at.
Yeah,
I mean, you weren't having down seasons to say the least. You were. I mean, he wasn't on the decline or anything, but it's not like he was having the great seasons. But you literally came off of a season where you almost averaged a triple. You averaged a triple double
yeah,
all season. And so that mark was set by your performance there. And when you're not beating the mark, this is where the scrutiny comes into.
yeah.
Um, because everyone else is holding their own, except for AD, who complained that he never played real basketball for 3 months.
Well, that's a
Um,
whole nother topic, man.
But if I was LeBron on the Lakers, I'd be mad about the team that I have with right now. That team is not, and you, if any Laker fan argues that, this is not a winning team here. This is a team who's going to go into shambles by the second month if it gets really, really bad for them. If they're not at 500 or they're not even having a really good start to the season, what is the open media going to talk about?
Yeah, because you're in LA, you're the Lakers, and I'll tell you why it's not going to work. It's not just because of just Russell Westbrook. There's a lot of reasons. One is our team and most of what they do as far as our the people they bring on in the off season, they're making the same mistake over and over again. Last year it was, oh, we need more ball handlers, we need more people. Or actually the year before that, whenever they traded for Dennis Schroeder, oh, we need more ball handlers on the team, more guys who can handle the ball that aren't LeBron James. And so they brought in Dennis Schroeder. That didn't work. Okay, so and then they doubled down on that again. Oh, we still need more ball handlers. Then they bring in Russell Westbrook. That didn't work. And then what was the other thing was AD has to play at the five. That was the other thing a couple of years ago. Oh yeah, we have to have AD at the five. Well, that doesn't work. Not for an entire season. They didn't get enough centers to put around. We didn't have barely any centers last year, or no, we didn't have any centers last year. They didn't.
Yeah.
So he's playing at the center alone, gets hurt, and then everything falls apart. Same thing this year. Oh, well, we need to have AD play more at the five. So this repetitive nonsense that they keep spitting over and over again, it doesn't work. AD cannot play consistently at the five for two very good reasons. One is he doesn't have a competitive advantage in the post against centers. Duh, he has a competitive advantage at the four spot, and that's not talking mess about his game, because Tim Duncan played his entire career at the power forward position as a 7-footer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the team not recognizing that that's what the advantage is. So that's dumb. That's number one. And then the other thing, ball handlers. No, you don't need additional ball handlers around LeBron James. You never had. He is the ball handler in Cleveland, in Miami, wherever. You need to have guys that can play defense and shoot 3-point shots. That is the formula for a LeBron James team. Yet the Lakers and the Lakers management keep ignoring that, and they keep bringing in all these guys to either push AD to the five, which means he's going to bang against centers and get injured a quarter through the season. Seriously, he's going to play.
No, it's
He's
true.
going to He's going to be
It's
defending
true.
centers halfway through a quarter through the season, and then he's going to get hurt because you want him to play center for whatever reason. And then on the opposite end, you're going to have somebody, LeBron James, trying to play off the ball with some ball handler who can only pass the ball to LeBron James and AD. Neither one of them are purely 3-point shooters, and the guy who's handling the ball can't shoot threes either. So everybody's just going to stand in the paint and wait for you to pass the ball. Nobody's going to play you head up, because they don't have to. They could just stand at the 3-point line. They could just
Yep.
stand at the free throw line and make sure you don't get anything in the paint and say, okay, Lakers, give me your best shot. And that's it. You're the most easiest team to guard in the entire freaking league, because you don't have anybody that can shoot the 3-point ball with consistency, or at least shoot it enough so that the opposing team fears you being open. We don't got that. So it's going to be bad.
There's Yeah, and the fact that they can't stretch the floor, LeBron does not have him a 3-point shooter. There's no development of a 3-point shooter for the Lakers. It's gonna spell disaster. And then at one point, are you gonna have Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook on the same on the floor at the same time?
Well, Dennis Schroeder's injured now. He hurt his finger. He's gonna have surgery on his finger. So he
Oh,
he, he
I would have said the same thing before starting the season too.
but I mean, we've already got our answer. The answer is no, because Russell Westbrook is gonna end up coming off the bench. So that means
Yep.
somebody else has to start at that role. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be Dennis Schroeder? Is it going to be Lonnie Walker? Is it going to be like who? What other guard are they going to put in there to be the starting? To be that starting guard. And so I don't know, man. Honestly, I just think I think it's just it's a mess. And you'll see them play well for quarters, but you'll never see them put a complete game together because they don't have the formula to compete.
No, well, that sounds like an LA problem. Definitely 100%.
Hey, your team got some
Uh,
problems too now.
but oh, hold on, but we found a way to get rid of those problems. That was by paying people, so that's to say the least. There. But there was another talk before we move on to my team that the Lakers were going to be during the season here. So let me ask you this: we did just talk about it. When does that talk start to happen in your eyes through this season? When does that talk start taking place?
Those talks will take place from opener through the trade deadline. They're going to continue. Now they won't, I'm not saying they're going to be talking right at the beginning because it probably takes 20 25 games before teams start seeing records, looking at players, and figuring out who they need and who they don't. But generally, really, what the Lakers are looking for is a trade that only includes one of those first round draft picks. That's what they're looking for. So if they can get a
Yeah.
trade where they could bring back value and only give up one draft pick, that's what they're going to do.
But you know what's crazy is the NBA season is defined by the 20th game.
Yeah.
It literally is because you don't see a whole lot of movement in the standings as soon as teams are established. That's
No.
it after that. So they have 20 games to figure out what team LA is going to have here. In regards to that, dude, you're going to hate my sleeper team later on, but um, it's the Lakers going to have this is a very crucial point because LeBron can opt out at any point and say I'm done with this and move on. But I don't see him leaving anywhere
He's not
because he
doing that.
wants to keep the record
Yeah.
inside of the all-time scoring record with the Laker
I
organization.
don't I don't know if folks have heard this before, and B&T, we do a lot of stuff before everybody else saying. I'm just saying. But one of the reasons that the Lakers are keeping the 2029 pick is because of Bronny James. They're not going to trade that pick. And one of those is I can almost promise you, and I don't know this for sure. Obviously, I'm not with the Laker organization, but just from outside looking in, there is a backroom handshake between Laker management and LeBron James that's saying, hey, if we have the opportunity, we're going to take your son and put him on this team so you can play with him. So that's another reason I think the Lakers will not just willingly give up the 2029 draft pick.
And Bronny James just signed a lucrative deal with Nike this week as well.
There
That
you go.
report came out, and it's just like writings are starting to become on the wall for another terrible Lakers season for T here.
Hey.
Hopefully that ass whooping on opening night on Tuesday won't be too bad as we
Hey, we
raise
might.
another
Hey, we might
banner.
win that game only because you guys will have a hangover. But I'm not too big on the rest of the season.
You right. A lot of teams have hangovers opening night, especially when they're raising a banner. It's not uncommon for that to take place, but
Yeah,
who knows?
we'll see,
Who
man. We'll see.
knows?
Well, let's jump into the Warriors and let's talk about the Warriors making it rain over the weekend like no one has ever seen. I mean, just $100 million for you, $100 million for you. We had y'all out there like Oprah. So we had a
And then they said Draymond, no money for you.
You out. I felt like that was the biggest punch to the face Draymond Green could have ever taken right there. They was like, we gonna hit you financially in the face.
Because Jordan Poole wasn't going to hit him, so the Warriors found a different way to hit him.
Not only gonna take some time away from the team, but while you're gone, we're gonna pay both Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and let you know for sure that your days here are numbered. Because I feel like
Bro,
that's the message.
they paid them on the final game of the of the
Preseason, man.
preseason.
Oh man. So B, my question for you is how unexpected was that after this entire offseason to wait to the bitter end to make those extensions?
I was not expecting them to pay a damn penny to anyone until after the season. In all honesty, there, I I understand why they did it, but it's hard to imagine that they just threw that kind of money
Yeah.
within 3 hours. These deals took 3 hours back to back from each other.
Yeah.
This wasn't we're gonna sign Jordan Poole right now. We'll wait till the end of the season to sign Andrew Wiggins at the end of the year so we can see what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna wait 3 hours and then we're gonna have agent or Wojnarowski um
Whoosh.
break the other
Whoosh.
breaking news. Whoosh, whoosh. You know what I'm saying? This was a complete shocker that the Warriors did this, though. And what a lot of people don't understand is that Andrew Wiggins is one who took this pay cut at $104 million.
Yeah.
He could have easily gotten that $140 million extension. A veteran took a pay cut so the rookie could get the money. Let's put it like that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened
And
here.
and Wiggins should have took a pay cut because he got paid on potential in that last contract.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
So this is a big step for the Warriors. They are looking the transition from the past to the future or the present to the future is happening now. And it's all going to start with number 23. This is Draymond's final year in a Warrior
Can
uniform.
we book that? Can we book that? Stamp.
I'm putting it right. I'm writing it on a post-it note. My
Stamp.
mom's gonna hate me because I'm using all her post-it notes right now. But we gonna put this Draymond's last year. He will finish this year. I think there will be no trades for Draymond um for this year, but I think this will be it for him. I You got to look at it realistically. You know whose contracts are coming up next? Wiseman.
Yeah.
Clay Thompson's
Yeah.
due for another extension after that.
Yeah.
And then right after Clay, you have Curry's final year, and then you also have the rookies from last year,
Kaminga
Kaminga and
and
Moody
Moody.
here.
Yeah.
Um, what are we putting? The 2022-2023 season will be Draymond's last.
That's right.
R.I.P. R.I.P. And look, I'm not a Draymond hater. I love Draymond. I don't think even with the punch happening, I don't think the Warriors were still bringing him back. It was just going to cost them way too much for a player who is more of an emotional leader and a game manager than a guy who's putting up 30 points. The Warriors now have the future. And let me tell you their bench lineup this year on what it's going to look like. You're going to have Jordan Poole at the one. You're going to have Moses Moody at the two. You're going to have
Kaminga
Kaminga
at the
at the
three. Yeah.
three. You're going to have
At
Wiseman
the
at the
five.
five.
Yeah.
And then who maybe Draymond comes off the bench with them at the four. Or maybe Iguodala. Who
Iguodala.
knows?
Iguodala.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But
That's
look at
solid, man. I'm not gonna argue with it.
and then the combinations that they have to go with that as well, with the starting lineup there. Who that death lineup is even going to be more because at one point you could run Curry, Thompson, Poole, and even Kaminga out there as well
Yeah.
on a death lineup when they start learning. But there's going to be so much opportunity for this team moving forward here. Their bench is set up to be, quite honestly, one of the best benches that they've had in a while because of the raw talent that they have
Yeah.
in this
They
organization
could
here, and
definitely. They can
that's far to say.
totally play Steve Kerr's offense, get up and down the court, defend from 2 to 5 or 2 to 4 really, and make some stuff happen. So yeah, no, I think you guys will have a really good bench. That's going to help preserve your starters. Do you think that Draymond sees this as a punch in the face? Do you and along with that question, did Draymond's action force the Warriors' hand a little bit?
It maybe I wouldn't say it's a punch. It's more of a slap on the wrist
Yeah,
to Draymond, to say the least.
yeah,
But I don't believe these actions really had too much of a influence on what the Warriors are trying to do here,
okay,
because it's you know I put it like this: if Dennis Rodman was in Draymond's shoes right now, are you paying Dennis Rodman a second max contract over a guy who's going to potentially average 28 points a game in the league?
of course, no, yeah, you got to go with
You
the got
can't.
to go with the points.
And in a Steve Kerr offense like that, it all it requires is to getting up and down the court and finding the open shooter. That's the offense there. Now Draymond has a big hand in finding the open shooter. He's a great screen setter,
Mm-hmm.
but who's not to say that they may use pieces to trade because they have so much talent, because they're not going to have a lot of money to spend to go get themselves a guy like that. JaMychal Green is going to have one hell of a year this year with his team because he's going to find himself more open than he's ever been.
Yeah,
A lot of players do, but I think what's going to help them the most is the guy that I mentioned, Andre Iguodala, who's I think working his way into a coaching career after this season.
mm-hmm.
Um, with everything that he knows with the team and how each player moves. He knows the tendencies of Curry, Thompson off the screen. He knows where to find them, but he also knows how to move the ball as well. So I think that development from him, the knowledge from Draymond Green, bye-bye Draymond Green, will all help the development of these young players here. And it's going to be fun to watch. As a Warrior fan, you got to be juiced for something like this because it's all homegrown talent this year.
Yeah.
Literally. Who's the white boy they picked up? The kid from the Bucks. What the hell was his name?
Oh, DaVincio.
De, uh, the Da Vinci
Da
Code,
Vincio, yeah, Da
Da
Vincio,
Vincio.
yeah, that's it.
He's coming off the bench too.
Yeah,
So in essence, there's your entire bench: Da
yeah,
Vinci Code, Jordan Poole, Kaminga, Moody,
right.
and then Wiseman. Dude, that is, and they're all 25 years and under.
Yeah,
All of them are.
and one question I do have is about this is we're going back to Draymond. I'm gonna keep picking on Draymond a little bit. Do you think Draymond handles this in stride? I mean, we kind of all see the writing on the wall. I'm sure he sees it too. He's not stupid. Is he gonna go with it and say, "Hey, this is my last chance at a championship. I'm gonna take advantage of it," or is he gonna go down the the kind of spiteful road and the same stuff we saw happen with KD may creep its ugly head up again?
If he goes the same way that KD went, then he's an idiot for yelling at him the way he handled the situation.
Yeah,
I think he handles this with class. Hopefully, he. I mean, it's hard to say for a 32-year-old vet to mature, but he's got to mature in
he's
this
the
situation.
headlines are going to be on his ass because the Warriors are
Yeah,
going to have to answer all these questions the first quarter of the season about their team environment and camaraderie. And every time, I promise you, every time Draymond gets a technical or goes off, not only is the national media going to give him crap for it, but I think that Warriors fans are going to start to turn on his ass.
well, yeah, and you can see that happening because they're going to be like, "Oh, well, he needs to cut it out." But in all honesty, those are the Warrior fans who just became fans after 3 years to see their second banner go up. When I've seen four banners go up,
Yeah,
and this ain't nothing. This is nothing new when it comes to Draymond.
yeah,
That's who we've learned to accept over his 11 years in Golden State. He's Draymond has never changed who he was here. I think he'll calm down, but I don't think the attitude's going to change. I don't think the technicals are going to change.
yeah,
But I'd rather have that stay consistent. I think him and Jordan Poole supposedly talked it out. Jordan Poole was on record today saying that there's one goal in common, and that's to win a championship.
yeah,
I think they could. What's going to heal all of this is one Tuesday night when they get those rings, and then two, they got to get to a hot start. They basically have to mimic what they did last year in order for the talk to
yeah.
be like this.
Exactly.
Because if you're 500, the talk is going to end up like this. And now we're in a pretty big predicament where instead of Draymond playing all year, we're maybe looking at a potential trade like the Lakers with Russell Westbrook.
Right. Yeah.
So
All right. Well, we'll see. Draymond could be Draymond. It's an interesting transition for the Warriors, but this is definitely a great opportunity for them to get back to the finals. I will say that. And that being said, let's jump into some of the stuff we want to talk about around the league. We want to give some of our predictions. And
I've already given one. I've already had to give one prediction.
yeah, so we talk around the league. The first thing, we'll kind of go through a couple of different categories here, but we'll start in the West, and I obviously know what you think about it, and who's going to lead the West, who's going to be representing, who's going to be the top team coming out of the West this year. I'm pretty sure you're going to say the Warriors, and
Nope.
no, you're not. You don't think the
Nope.
Warriors will be going to the finals this year?
Oh, hold on. I'm not saying that they won't. They won't be the top
You
team
mean
in the
top
West this
seed?
year.
Okay, so who
Yeah.
who you got?
This is gonna sound like a shock to a lot of people, but Memphis will
That's
be
that's
the
a
one
good
seed.
pick. Okay.
And here is why. We were talking year four, I think year three or year four with Morant and this same team. They literally what heartbreak the Warriors felt when it came to losing before the championship run is the same thing that Memphis went. You have to realize Memphis is a smaller version of the Warriors here, as far as the talent goes. Now they're missing. I think they're still missing a point guard piece.
Yeah.
I think there's a different element that John Morant needs to develop. But the matter of the fact is this team has elevated its game every single year. And as a Warrior fan, it was nice for them to beat Memphis in the semis. But let's be realistic. If John Morant doesn't get hurt, we don't know what kind of discussion we're having this year.
Right.
And I'm not taking nothing away from my team because they still had to go out and beat them. But the matter of the fact is that's how much John Morant means to Memphis. and the way that team builds around him. Steven Adams is gotten a new life down in
Yeah,
Memphis
he
as well
has. Yeah.
because his career slowed down once Chris Paul left out in OKC, but it's re-picked up with Memphis here. Desmond Bain, still a great player here. He's got a lot of development, but I think that's during this progression here. That'd be who comes out as the top dog on in the regular season in the West there.
All right. Well, I'm actually going to go. I'm actually going to go with the Warriors. And the reason I'm going to go with the Warriors is because of the youth infusion that they have on their team. I think what's going to end up carrying the day is the fact that you won't have to have Steph Curry play as many minutes, and of course, this is banking on the fact that the guys that they've just paid, Wiggins and Poole, have good seasons because Wiggins obviously has a ton of potential, and in his role, I think is perfect because he is such a great talent, but now he's only being asked to do just two or three things, which is cool. Um,
Yeah,
the young guys, Moody and Kuminga, have had one more year to mature. I don't see a lot of value in Weissman yet, to be quite honest with you. I just haven't seen enough of him play, so he's kind of a question mark for me. But DiVincenzo, who was a very good backup for the Milwaukee Bucks, he's one of those hard-nosed guys that defends the other team's point guard. And can knock down an open three now and again. So I like him coming off the bench too. So I just think the youth infusion is going to help the Warriors throughout the regular season be better. And I think another year of Klay Thompson getting healthier is going to help them go that route. And I just think the game that they have around Steph Curry and him being able to knock down 3-point shots are, yeah, I mean, at the level that they do, is unmatched by most of the league, to be quite honest.
yeah.
And so if they can continue that and the youth, the young guys can really play a strong role in this on this team, then I think they will. I'm picking them to be the number one seed in the West. Now I don't know if I'm picking them to go to the finals, but I'm picking them as the number one seed.
Yeah, and again, I would have easily gone with the Warriors on that one there, but there's just something about Memphis that just really gives the Warriors problems in the
Yeah.
regular season. It's just
They slow the ball. It's the same problem the
yeah,
Warriors have always had with Memphis. You remember the old team with Conley and Mark Gasol?
yeah,
They play really really tough defense, and
and they struggled with them in the regular
yeah, and
season every single
they
time.
slow the game down in the half court. So yeah, I'm with you, man.
I like these two picks here. I really do. I think with the either way it goes, you're looking at the two best teams in the West. I don't think there's problems in the Suns organization. In all
Yeah,
honesty, I don't think DeAndre Ayton wants to be there. He was looking to get out,
yeah.
and I just don't see Chris Paul really be having these seasons here. And honestly, Devin Booker is a no. He's been a no show for me. Like
Yeah,
I haven't been impressed with him
I
lately.
mean, the bottom line is you only get a certain amount of time to do it. I feel like the Suns are towards the end of that. Chris Paul is getting older, and every season he
Mm-hmm.
gets older, he picks up another injury. That's his thing. He's gonna get injured late in the season or in the playoffs. That's just how it's been for the past few years. Devin Booker is a great talent, but he's not a guy who's gonna necessarily put that whole team on his back. They do have some nice young talent there to help round out the roster. Aiton has never ever played up to his true potential.
No,
So unless he just completely goes off he becomes a 20, 20 points, 10 and a half rebounds, 3 block guy, then I don't think that they're getting back to that summit again. I don't think they're getting back to the finals. I think that they had their chance and
no,
it's over.
no. And Denver's got a lot to work on this year.
Yeah, Jamal.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead, B.
Jamal Murray is finally coming back, but he's been out for 2 years.
Yeah,
And look how long it took Klay Thompson, and he still needs to get his legs underneath him.
yeah.
Have been gone that long. So, the Dallas Mavericks, they didn't do anything to improve their chances
No,
to
wait,
compete in the
hold
West.
on now. I
That's
like the Dallas Mavericks. We'll talk about sleeper teams later, but I don't want to give away too much, so I'm gonna just move on. So, okay, so the East. So let's move on to the East. Let's talk
All
about
right,
the
let's talk about
East.
the East here.
So the East has been they've got some issues with some teams. as far as the Brooklyn Nets, who are coming back, but I don't have any faith in them whatsoever. In my opinion, I really think this is with the exit of the Celtics head coach. I think this is another opportunity for the Milwaukee Bucks, a healthy Milwaukee Bucks, to go in and make some noise and get back to being the number one team in the East this year. So I'm picking the Bucks.
Um, you know, I was thinking about that, but I still like the Boston Celtics. I really do. Now we don't know I don't know who's their coach to say the least, but that talent is still there.
Yeah, no, it
Jalen
is.
Brown, um, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. You know what? Sorry, that was an insult. Marcus Smart's not part of that
Oh, he's
conversation
defensive
there.
player of the year last year, man. What are you
Okay,
talking about?
defensively, yes. Defensively, yes. But offensively, he's about as much as a liability as Draymond Green when it comes to that there.
Damn.
But they really went out and established their roster during the offseason here. Malcolm Brogdon,
Yeah, Malcolm
I think,
Brogdon. Yeah,
was a great pickup. Danilo Gallinari, I mean,
he's injured, so we can write him
he's
off.
injured, but when he gets on the court, he's still, he's still
Serviceable.
deadly
Yeah,
from outside
yeah.
when he can. I think Peyton Pritchard's going to have a really good second year here for them, um, off the bench, and then they picked up Blake Griffin, but that's not that's
He's
really.
he's handing out Gatorade bottles. Let's just put it like that.
But the Williams brothers, Grant and Robert Williams, I think are going to have
Oh
monstrous
yeah,
seasons this
for
year.
sure.
Robert Williams dominated in the playoffs for being hurt.
Yeah,
Imagine the dude
one
healthy
leg,
right now.
one legged. Yeah.
Yes, and I think Grant Williams is. I think he's going to come into his game a little more
Hmm.
when he figures out his role a lot better. I think um, him and Peyton Pritchard could be a really good combination off the bench because you're going to have someone who can work on the inside, and then obviously with the outside shooting of Peyton Pritchard as well. It's not going to take much for a coach to really get this team going here. I think Boston, as young as they are, have that drive to want to get back to the finals.
Yeah.
I really think that they may be the top seed here. Milwaukee scares me a little bit as far as consistency goes because when you look at the roster outside of Antetokounmpo, um, that starting lineup doesn't scare you really here. Was it Drew Holiday?
Yeah.
I think it's
Drew
Drew
Holiday.
Holiday. Um, and then who was the other
You
guy
got
that
you.
was
Don't forget Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton?
Yeah.
But he was hurt for an extended period of time, and then Covington just went down this week. He's not starting the season off, so I see a little more consistency from Boston than I do see from Milwaukee. Because let's be honest,
Covington's not that good, man. It's not that.
the East is trash. To be honest with you, as far as basketball level goes, like you're gonna see some top notch basketball in the West, but in the East, I mean, it's gonna be top heavy again. It's gonna be the Heat.
Yeah, it's going to be top heavy, but you got a good number of teams though. I mean, you got the Heat. We just talked about the Bucks and the Celtics, and then I don't know what the Nets are going to do. I don't know
That
Atlanta,
no, that dude,
Atlanta, New York. I mean, these are teams that are going to be in the mix. Don't you ever forget now the fact that the Cavaliers, who had a good season last year, just picked up your boy Donovan Mitchell. So I mean, the Cavs are going to be in that mix as well. So I think we'll see some good basketball. And to be honest with you, the top half of the East, in my opinion, is going to be a little bit more interesting, at least, than the top half in the
yeah,
West. Because if you look at the top half of the East, the Cavs, the Bucks, the Celtics, we'll even throw the Nets in there just because they have talent. I think there'll be a lot of interesting matchups. So I disagree. I think the East is going to be very interesting to watch during the regular season.
that's if there's a fifth team that gets involved into that mix.
I just
That's the
told you the
only.
Cavs, baby.
I know, but I'm saying that's the only way that they become relevant
Yeah,
is if there's a fifth team involved. Because when you look at the West, even though we have our two top teams, any one of those teams underneath them can easily become a top tier team. But you're asking
yeah.
a Charlotte Hornets team who,
Well, not them,
you
no.
know, but that's what I'm saying though.
So,
Is you
so
know
okay, so here's why I say okay. So I'm gonna lay it out for you, and this is why I disagree. Okay, the Bucks. That's one team. That's one.
yep.
Bucks, Celtics. We just mentioned those two. Now your next tier teams, the 76ers. You know, then
We didn't even talk
I
about
know
them.
exactly. Right. 76ers. Then you got the new Cavs team. Then you got the drama with the Nets. Then you got two teams that'll make the playoffs, but nobody will really watch. Was the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. So I mean, those are seven teams that you can actually watch and be entertained by. If I don't think I could count out seven teams in the West and go, yeah, those are going to be interesting teams to watch.
But we haven't brought up the rest of the teams there. So we left a couple teams out of the
Yeah,
West.
we did. So if we're talking about the West, it's the Warriors, it's the
Memphis.
Suns, it's Memphis. After that, then it goes down to the Mavericks, then it goes down to the Lakers, then it goes down to the Portland Trailblazers, then it goes down to I don't even know. You can't. I don't know who else is there.
I kind of argue with you on that one. I don't think the Portland Trailblazers are really going to show me
But
enough.
that's my point. Is there aren't enough
But
teams in
but
the
what but
West?
what I'm saying is the the New Orleans Pelicans.
No.
No,
No, the New Orleans,
I
the New Orleans Pelicans are as good
I
as the
would
New
put
York
the
Knicks are in the East.
I would put the Pelicans above the Trailblazers. I would do
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, my point is though is you can't count out the seven teams I counted out in the West or in the East are better to as far as entertainment value than the seven teams I counted out in the West. In my
It's
opinion,
because you don't want to talk about a certain team in the West. But let's
I did. I said the Lakers, man. I'm
no
counting them in
no
there.
no no. We're gonna
I put them in there.
no. We're gonna talk about our
All
sleepers right
right, let's
now.
do it.
So
All right,
are we doing East and West
let's do
sleepers?
East and West. Yes, because I already
Okay.
got my two. I'm ready.
I got my team for the West here, and that it's a toss up, but I'm gonna have to go with them. And you are gonna love this one, bro. The Los Angeles Clippers are my sleeper team of the West
Yeah,
here.
I can see that. They're only a
Now,
sleeper because your boy was injured last year. But go ahead,
well,
B. Go ahead.
not only that, but they went out and got themselves a legitimate point guard in John Wall. I think John Wall is going to really thrive with this team here. You still have Paul George. As long as you don't get into the playoffs, Paul George is a great regular season acquisite. Um, who else is it? And then obviously Kawhi Leonard didn't play for all of the season here.
Yeah,
So we see what kind of impact he makes on the court. Looking at the rest of the roster here, Reggie Jackson, does he? I think he has a little bit of a slowdown from what he did last year, but I think it's a consistent slowdown that he has
yeah,
here, where
yes,
he's gonna
yeah,
he's gonna be easy to go with. And then I think we get a Nicholas Batum swan song out of him. I don't think he's got maybe about 1 or 2 years, but I think he'll have a good year here. So I mean, looking at their roster, I really like what the Clippers have. As far as that goes, I think they can compete because of George and because of Kawhi Leonard. But I think John Wall may be their biggest X factor, bringing him in, um, and adding a third scorer to that group there. Because when John Wall gets, he gets it in a very quick way there, and the man can score around the rim real
yeah.
easily here. So I think that's going to really open up a lot of the floor for the Clippers now that you got three guys who can finish around the rim and also knock down an open three as well. So they'll be my team in the West that kind of sneaks up on everyone, considering what happened to them.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the Clippers will be better, and forgive us if we haven't been mentioning the Clippers. I'm a Laker fan, so I don't like talking positively about the Clippers.
Yeah.
But they obviously have the talent and they can compete and have shown they can compete at a high level. But the team I'm gonna pick for the West is one that's actually giving the Clippers a run for their money and even beating them once, and that's the Dallas Mavericks. I think the Dallas Mavericks are a sleeper team because one, they already have Luka Doncic. They didn't have a healthy Tim Hardaway Jr. last year, especially in the playoffs where they could have used him. So they're getting Tim Hardaway Jr. back. And they picked a sneaky good pickup that nobody is talking about, which is picking up Christian Wood from the Houston Rockets. Christian Wood is a nice 6'10", Anthony Davis-esque type player who can do things on the defensive end, has good athleticism, can knock down an open jumper, can finish around the rim, and I think he's going to pair great. He's going to pair really well with Luka Doncic, who will be dropping the ball off to him in pick and pop situations where he can knock down open jumpers and catch the ball going towards the rim and being able to finish with power. I really like that pickup for them. He's only 24 years old. He's a young guy, and I think he's gonna really give the Mavericks a big guy boost that they've been needing ever since
Yeah,
they got the unicorn that didn't pan out for them. So I really like that pickup. I think they're a team that can sneak up and really take that three spot away from another team, or even get up to that two spot, because Dallas is not a big market. Not a lot of people are paying attention. Luka Doncic has really brought some attention to their team, but I think when they're one of those teams that can really sneak up on you, they play hard, they play good defensively, and they really Doncic can has shown that he can play against anybody. So yeah, man, that's my sleeper.
I like that. That's actually a really good sleeper there. You bring up some good points there. Let's talk about the East.
East, yep.
Let's talk about the East. You are going to get blown away when I drop this one. My
Oh,
sleeper team in
oh
the
God, who
East.
is it?
Are you ready for
Go
this?
ahead, man. I don't know.
The team from the armpit of America, the Orlando Magic, will be my sleeper team this
Wow,
year.
the
I am
Orlando
going on a
Magic.
limb. I'm going on a
Whoa.
limb and going with the Orlando
Oh my
Magic here. And
goodness.
here's the reason why. Franz Wagner really showed himself, showed it to be a really good asset for that team there.
Mm,
Jalen Suggs, I think, is going to start really coming into the game here. Number 3 overall pick. I think we're going to get some good productivity out of him. But this is where it gets interesting here. Cole Anthony, I
yeah,
think, has shown a lot of upside.
yeah, yes.
As long as he's not in a dunk competition, he could just focus on basketball there.
Oh boy, that was bad.
But and a real under a sneaky player is going to be Markel Fultz for them, being their
He
point
showed
guard
some
here.
promise. Yeah, he showed when he was healthy.
And and Bobo, I think if the Magic do this right, they kind of develop a little bit of the Warrior development here and run.
Yeah.
This team is way too young to sit there and be in a half court offense. If they get up and down the court, they could cause a lot of problems for the teams in the East. So I like the Orlando Magic to be my sleeper team this year. And I'm not only saying that because they went 4-1 in preseason, but they showed a lot of potential here with that, with a lot of growing pains to come along with it as well. So I'll take the Orlando Magic as my sleeper team.
Well, I know you know who I'm taking. I am taking the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers, adding Donovan Mitchell to that team, is going to elevate them. They had a really good season, at least from my opinion, for them being so young last year. And if you look at their team, man, they got so much youth and talent that they are going to put the fear in God into some of these teams that underestimate them. Hopefully, they're not underestimating them, because that's what people did to them last year. But you got Jared Allen, Darius Garland really came into shape last season and was huge at the point guard position. You're adding a shooter and Donovan Mitchell to that. You got Chris LeVert. You got Evan Mobley, who was a big time rookie for the
Yes.
Cavs. And I just think they added Robin Lopez. Well, no, they already had Robin Lopez. You got OG Kevin Love coming off the bench. Ricky Rubio was a good backup for them. I think this is a team. This is the team that comes in on a big national game against the Bucks, or the Warriors, or one of these teams, and really just gives you a dogfight the entire time. And so I really see them as being a sleeper team that could really make some noise in the East and unseat that, get into that 5 and up list. I really see them as being that number 4, or even threaten that number 3 seed this season.
That's a pretty big prediction there, sir.
Yeah.
But that's a really good pick right there as far as sleeper teams go. I think they were just missing a very good point guard, and now they've got themselves a point guard that can shoot, that can get to the lane and facilitate. So he's got a little bit of all three. They've got some amazing shooters behind them. I like that. I like that sleeper team pick. That's a good one right there. Um, I just added this because I want to get into discussion with this, but let's talk about a disappointing team real quick. Um, let's just you pick one disappointing team out of this entire league here. It doesn't have to be East or West,
Uh huh.
but I say one team you will that will disappoint you this year.
Yeah, it's going to be the Phoenix Suns. I think the Phoenix Suns are they've been straddling greatness or straddling being good at least, and I think they've done it for 3 years in a row now. And I think
Mm-hmm.
this is the year where it starts to implode. I think you're going to see Chris Paul older. You're going to see him, more injuries. You're going to see a Aiton who, from reports, hasn't even talked to his coach the entire offseason before training camp.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to see some of those relationships erode, and then you'll start to see this team drop down the standings. So I think the Phoenix Suns are going to have a reality check, and they're not going to be the team that they've been for the past 3 years.
Yeah, that's we kind of touched base on that a little bit
Yeah,
there. So,
yeah.
um, this will be no shocker to you who my most disappointing team will be.
What's that?
That's going to be the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, oh,
I'm going with
sounds
them
right.
because you talk about a team that doesn't want to talk to each other, don't even want to be there. It's the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that after all that KD drama, that he's going to come back and give you everything he's got for a full season? Absolutely not.
No.
Kyrie Irving don't even want to be there no more. He was hoping to be a Laker. That didn't work out, so now he's got to go back to, back to his little cell. And then on top of that, Ben Simmons. You want to talk about a guy who's having an atrocious preseason? I mean, preseason basketball doesn't mean anything. This dude sucks. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, there's a video of him airballing open practice that they had outside in Brooklyn, and literally the ball like disappears. You don't even see it get near the net. It just whoop, gone. Um,
Oh man.
I just it's I won't. I'm not
Ah.
going to be shocked, but it will be disappointing. Again, all that talent, all that money spent on a team going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
Right.
So
Yeah, I agree, man. I know you would love nothing more than to see Kevin Durant flop one more time on his face.
right on that ginormous forehead, skinny ass face of
Yeah.
his.
Brush your
Um,
hair. Brush your hair. All right.
MVP.
Whew, man, this one's gonna be tough, but
Who you got?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go with a guy that's on my sleeper pick, and that is Luka Doncic. I think Luka Doncic gets his first
Ooh.
MVP this year. I think he propels his team to the 3 or 2nd seed, and I don't expect him to necessarily get to the finals, but I do see them making some noise. I think he's the guy. I think he's gonna lead the season. He's gonna lead. He's gonna lead his team. He's gonna lead the NBA. He's the man. All those other big name scorers, they have someone on the team with them that is taking the ball out of their hand. He's the one guy that doesn't. Kevin Durant's got to share the ball with Kyrie Irving. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's got to get the ball to Middleton and some of the other guys. He's never, he's not really going to lead the league and score anyway. That's not his deal. And I think Jokic has already run it too many times. The Warriors team shares the ball too much, so they're not gonna, Steph Curry's not gonna go for 30 a night. And if Steph, and by the way, if Steph is going for 30 a night, then they're not having a good season. Just to be quite frank. LeBron James is not going to win it because the Lakers, I don't feel like are going to be around 500. I don't think that's going to be enough. So yeah, I'm putting my money on Luka Doncic.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick right there. And I think he's had some really good breakout seasons to really, even be in the conversation.
Yeah,
So, and he's shown a lot. He carried that team through the Western Conference semis to
yeah,
get to the finals. But look how much it took out of him to
yeah.
try to beat a Warrior team on his own there. And so I think you'll see that next level rise. That's a good one. I'm gonna go with the guy I picked last year, who I really believe deserved to win it, even though he didn't, and that's going to be Joel Embiid.
All right.
The dude absolutely dominated last year, and this is no knock to the Joker, but let's be realistic here. He had an outstanding season like you could never believe for a center here, and it got taken away because the Joker played on a semi bad team, and won it there. And again, I'm not taking that from him, but that's what I think the voters saw.
Yeah.
But I think Joel Embiid is going to have an even better year this year. Um, Maxi, the second year player, I think is going to really blossom. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but he's going to help out James Harden this year a lot. And now that they've had a chance to have an off season together to get some work in, there's the one thing that I don't knock James Harden is he finds the big man on a pick and roll. When he gets into the pick and roll with when he was in Houston, almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see the same with Joel Embiid. A lot of the things that Joel Embiid had to do, it's going to all get taken away. It's going to be put on James Harden's plate, and he could just focus on being a dominant scorer inside and outside of the paint, and just being a problem in the pick and roll. So I'm going to see as Joel Embiid as being the MVP for this season.
All right. All right. Now we get to the big dogs. Finals champion. So we're really gonna pick. We're not just gonna pick who's playing in the finals. We're gonna pick who's gonna win the finals. Is that what we're doing? We're gonna pick the
I think
champion.
we're just picking who's winning this year.
Wow.
Hundred
That's
percent.
that's hard, man. I'm gonna let you start.
Oh, the Warriors.
Warriors winning. Warriors winning.
Oh, Warriors are winning. Um, it's everything we described. That 82 games for your bench unit to really develop itself
Hmm.
is going to be so key when it gets to the playoffs. And the thing that the Warriors are going to have is experience. The kid from Milwaukee, Da Vinci Code, he's got experience in deep playoff runs. Moody, Kaminga, Poole all have deep playoff runs. That is four players that a lot of teams cannot say have that experience there. And then obviously you're going to have the core, assuming Draymond can keep his P's and Q's in order to help with these runs. I'm getting another cramp, by the way.
Oh no! The crap monster is back.
My toes are separating right now.
Oh man, B man,
But
everybody. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for B's water fund. We're gonna make sure that we set aside
oh,
$50
oh,
for a
god damn,
case
I hate getting old.
for a case of water. Good
My
water.
toes are going in so many different directions
Not
right
not not
now.
Dasani. We gonna get them some of
No,
that good some of that good water. Some of that
yeah,
a
but
Voss.
I'm sticking with the Warriors
All
here
right.
because they've shown in years past that after coming off a championship, there's no hangover. They've always been right back into the mix here. So I got to stick with my team to defend their title. What about you?
Man, this is a really tough one, man. There's a lot of stuff going through my head. Initially, I wanted to pick the Celtics because of how well they played last year. But I'm a Laker fan, and picking the Celtics to win the finals is sacrilegious.
You
I,
did it last year.
I
What you
did. You're right. I did. I
mean?
did. I did. I don't even know why. So I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. I gotta stick. I gotta stick with my loyalties. I'm actually gonna triple down. I'm gonna go with the team out of the East, and I'm gonna say that the Milwaukee Bucks win the championship again this year. I'm gonna say they win their second championship.
Okay. So we got. Oh shit! I'm writing in the wrong category. All
don't
right.
don't worry about it, man.
So we're going Warriors and Bucks for NBA
That's
champions
right.
here,
Yep.
which are. I mean, you can't go wrong with either or.
Yeah.
In quite honesty, there. So I like that, dude. I cannot wait for Tuesday night. Can't wait to see another ring where the top comes off and we all lose our shit about it because it's a
Oh,
oh look, they took the top
look,
off the ring.
look!
It's a necklace.
You can see Draymond punching Jordan Poole. Look, 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 look.
Oh, the dude from Beverly Hills Jewelry is like is trying to do damage control with that one right now.
Let me chisel
he's
it
gonna
in
hand,
there.
he's gonna hand out rubber rings so they don't go punching each other with the rings for the night.
Exactly.
But I
Exactly.
can't wait to see what the warm ups are gonna be. Nike always does a really good thing with them as far as what they look like there. So I'm actually gonna be really curious to see what the
I'm
what
ready, man. I'm a
what's everything
Lakers
gonna be
fan,
looking.
and it's gonna be tough. But I'm ready for the season to start. I'm gonna be upset 10 games in. I'm just gonna let the world know. Ten
You gonna
games
be
in, I'm
upset.
gonna be
You gonna be
pissed.
upset.
I'm gonna
You'll
be
be upset
mad.
Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Tuesday night
like
is
I'm
how
gonna be
they
like
get you.
I'm gonna be like the Lakers suck. They can't shoot. I'm gonna say all the same stuff I said today. So just so everybody knows, I'm not gonna be very happy when we talk about the Lakers unless they somehow perform some type of a miracle and have a basketball lobotomy and find a way to make 3-point shots. Because if they can't, it's gonna be a long ass season. I can tell you that right now.
Show
Oh
is
man,
there. I can't wait
woo!
to get this started, man. It's gonna be great.
Yep. All right, all right. What else we got? Anything else, me? You want to shoot out, or did you want to
I
hit
gotta
on MLB?
I gotta go on a little rampage here because
Let's do it.
it's gonna be baseball related. But the Dodgers got eliminated last night. Can't make me any more happier to
Damn.
watch a team.
Why? How you gonna
Let
laugh at
me
Magic Johnson like that?
let me tell you this. This team won 111 games, was 60 games over 500, and that is unprecedented in this game of baseball. 60 games out of 182, you're gonna be 60 games over 500. Unreal. And you lose in the first round and have home field advantage overall throughout the World Series or either playoffs into the World Series, and they just choke. I love it. The Dodgers can only win championships when it's a quarter of a season, 60 games long, and they got to play at a neutral site. That's the only reason why they won their championship. I am going to go to Disneyland, and mark my word, whoever hears this in LA, it's going to say championships are not won in quarter seasons. And on the back of it, it's going to say, sincerely, San Francisco fans,
There you
because
go.
you guys suck. I enjoyed it to the high heavens yesterday. Dude, you will talk about the Warriors spend money on their team, and the Dodgers do the same thing. But the difference is the Warriors have turned that into championships, and all the Dodgers have shown for it are NL West division titles. You don't get a ring for winning a division; you get a ring for winning the championship.
Dang.
There's two different categories. So all you Dodger fans, as you guys are sitting there choking on your Dodger dogs with no bun because you guys aren't in the playoffs no more, enjoy it. You cannot spend money and win championships if it's not done right.
Damn.
So suck on that.
All right, folks, and there you go. A little venom. A little venom. I was a little hot. I was a little hot. I felt
Ooh,
that one. Uh,
that felt so good to get off my chest. I
that's
can't
terrible,
tell you,
man.
man. Ever since last night after that game, man, it's just I was like, save it for the show, save it for the show, save it for the show.
Hey, man. Hey, I get it. I get it, man. I
It was
mean,
awesome.
good lord. Um, anything else baseball related you want to hit on? I know the
Not,
Yankees are still in it. Let's
yeah, the
see. They're
Yankees
holding
just
on.
they won another game, so now they're going back to New York to try to
Finish it out.
to win an elimination game.
Yeah.
But we got a close game Monday or Sunday night game on our hands. The
Oh,
Cowboys and Eagles are going at it.
oh, the Cowboys made a comeback.
Eagles, e- yep, Eagles up 20-17 with 3:11 to go in the fourth quarter.
Oh, wow.
Nice little
How about
competition we got
them
going on there.
Cowboys?
You know what sucked today, dude, was watching the Giants win, knowing that was my sleeper team this year, and beating my
Yeah,
team. Like,
man. I don't know why you jumped off their bandwagon last week, man. They've been on fire, man. They haven't been the
I'm not
prettiest
trying to
game.
jump off the bandwagon. I'm just saying, like, you, dude, this is.
Yeah, it's
I'm
your
not gonna
team,
root for a
obviously.
team that I picked against my own team. Like, I clearly should have done that today, but then again, I wasn't expecting Lamar to just sit there and go, "Hey, you want to strip the ball out of my
Exactly.
hands? Here, it's right here."
I don't want to win,
Jesus
guys.
Christ!
Here you go. You can have the damn ball. I've got a dinner to get to.
Pretty much, he goes, I got some things to do in New York, so we good.
Yeah,
Um,
but
let's do a quick little prequel into this Sunday because I know your Raiders unfortunately are back on
hey,
television.
we get a chance to
Um,
redeem ourselves, okay?
you guys have been saying that since losing your last three
Hey,
games, to say the
yeah, okay,
least.
all right.
God, the NFL Prime Video game of the week is Cardinals and
I'm not
Saints.
watching that. No, I was-
Dude, they've struck out the last 3 weeks with this crap, man.
you talk. Wait, that's the
Well,
Thursday night game. Yeah,
that's the
Thursday
Thursday
night
night
games
game.
are trash, man. They're trash.
Te- well, they hit it out of the park with the first two.
Yeah, well, that was just to get you hooked in. Then after that, they reeled out the crap. You know,
So
yeah.
check this out. These are our games next week. I'm just gonna call these out. Let me know what you think. So obviously, your team plays the Texans, so that shouldn't even be broadcasted on
We'll get a
television.
win.
Yeah, you better
We'll
get
get
a
a
win.
win.
Don't let Davis Long Neck Mills beat you guys. Um, the Browns and Ravens, the Falcons and Falcons and Bengals. Didn't that shit already happen?
Not yet. I don't know.
No. They literally are. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Bengals and
Yeah.
Saints. Falcons and Bengals. Lions and Cowboys, Colts, Titans, Packers,
Mm.
Commanders, Buccaneers, Panthers, Giants, Jags, Jets, Broncos. Jesus Christ. Oh God, this schedule's horrendous. Seahawks, Chargers. I think the game of the week next week is the Niners and the Chiefs. As long as
Yeah.
the Niners get healthy, I think that's what we're looking at. And then, Lord and behold, our two primetime games to end the week are the Steelers and the Dolphins,
Mm.
and then the Patriots and the Bears. How did the
Oh
Bears
my
get a
god.
Monday
I don't know,
night
man.
game, dude? I
That's
swear to God, NFL, good job.
yeah. Well, this will be one of those weeks where we will be definitely looking for some money for some over unders because
They're all going under. Let's just put it like that.
oh, that's terrible, man.
It
Oh
is.
man,
It
well let
is,
me
man.
yeah man, well if we don't have anything else, I think that's it. I don't have anything on the chat this week. The chat is slipping. The chat's slipping.
I know.
Slipping.
Quiet night.
Yeah.
Quiet
I thought
night
this
from the
was a great
team.
show. Especially the
I thought it was
NBA stuff.
too.
We got we got real colorful. You know,
Was it my breath?
I mean, maybe in the metaverse. Can you smell
Ooh,
people breath in the
rough.
metaverse?
I don't know, but I had some garlic today, so I'm probably the last person's breath you want to be
Hey,
smelling today.
they still do
I'll
that festival out there?
the Gilroy
Yeah,
Garlic
yeah.
Festival. I don't know if they still do it.
They
I remember last time I heard about them doing it, there was a shooting
oh
there.
yeah, that's
Not
right.
not not to bring the mood down or anything like
They
that, but
probably did it after that. No, I shouldn't have said
yeah.
that. They probably canceled it after that.
Damn, T.
My bad.
Damn.
I'm sorry, America. They probably stopped doing it after that. Is what I meant to say. I'm
There it
sorry.
is. Oh my God. No, I think I'm good on my end. But, if you guys catch this later on during the week, tell your friends about it. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We'd love to have you guys back here. No matter what, if it's only one of you watching or we got the whole world watching,
Say
we're
something.
still going to be here
That's right.
regardless.
Get
We're
on
still
there.
going to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Check us out. Check us out. And remember, we will be back on Friday with the Pick'em Dummies. And B, we'll have a meeting. We'll have a meeting at some point, but maybe there's opportunity to start talking about some NBA Pick'em Dummies. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh, we could do a whole show with the Friday night NFL NBA pick'em
Yeah,
dummies.
man. We'll check. We'll
I
see.
like that. I like
All
that.
right.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Peace.